Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Average Home Theater. I am Nelson and
Hey, it's producer Nick.
producer Nick. Well, we are going to do a little 2024 wrap up on movies that came out in 2024. We're going to give it our official grade because it's very important on this channel because lots of people tune in and pay attention.
Hey,
So
give the people what they want.
that's right. We need to give the people what they want, and they want our expert opinions. So, but anyway, how was your holiday?
Not bad. Nice and quiet. Opened presents with the little one, visited family Christmas Day. Went back to work on Thursday.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I've been off. I don't go back to work until Thursday the 2nd, which is in 2 days. So we're recording this on New Year's Eve, and hopefully I'll have it out New Year's Day.
Yeah.
So, okay, movies of 2024. So before we get into any specific movies, what is your overall feeling of the year? Like overall grade?
My overall grade, after thinking about it for a couple of minutes, I'd say a B. I'd say a B because there were a lot of surprises.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of disappointments, but the disappointments were pretty major.
Right,
So
I
I
agree.
couldn't go over a B. But I mean, not bad. There were some things that came out that I really enjoyed, and um, the big thing about this year for me was being able to watch. So my son is, I wanted him to be on today, but he didn't want to come on.
Yeah, he's not quite ready.
He's not ready yet. Um, Watching more things with him,
Right.
whether it's old classic things that I really enjoyed when I was younger or whatever, and seeing how he likes them or doesn't like them because, generational thing.
Of course.
He's been brought up on CGI and all that stuff. So when you show him like Masters of the Universe,
Oh, this is
it
stupid.
looks
It's
stupid to
terrible.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, which it did. But anyway, but I've enjoyed watching things with him, new things and old things, and see how he likes them. He's shown me things that I didn't think I would like at all that I enjoyed. He showed me a couple things that I thought kind of sucked, didn't enjoy at all. But
I mean, I
and
know
the
what you
same with him.
mean because like we got to watch Die Hard with Mia
Right. Right.
first time. So she's only about 6 months older than your son.
Hmm.
So, we kind of held off with watching that just because of the violence and the language. But we felt that she's mature enough and she can handle it. I mean, I was watching it when I was 9,
Right.
and I'm perfectly fine. So, I
Totally
mean, what
fine.
what can happen?
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely now I think we've kind of entered a new era where we can watch more things with our kids, and it's going to get a lot more fun.
Yeah. And their kids now are exposed to a little bit
Well,
more,
a
a
little bit
little bit
more.
sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's different than when we were growing up. But yeah, I mean, like you said, you were watching RoboCop,
Oh God, yeah.
when you were little. So
And we thought it was awesome.
yeah, it was. It still is.
But I give this year like a C plus because I have to say I was, and once we go down our list here, I was disappointed way more than I was
Yeah.
pleased. But then I also wasn't like, okay, that was just terrible.
Right.
So most of the movies this year were really middle of the road. And it's kind of scary. I don't know what the deal is with that. If there's a lot of these movies were written during pandemic and they just were kind of and the writer's strike and maybe it was kind of I don't know. But
Yeah, it's been a weird
it was a very
2 years.
mediocre year. Um
And I mean, like going to the movies is still coming back, I think.
I think
I think
so. I
it's
think it's making a big comeback actually.
not where it was
Mm.
before
I went to the
2020.
movie. We'll count them at the end, but several times this year. I think like at least 5 or 6 times. And for me, that's a lot lately.
Yeah.
I haven't been going to the movies as much, but I'm trying to. I want to support theaters because I don't want them to go away.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, and
know.
that seems to be the direction. Everything's streaming now and physical media and everything, the state of all that. But yeah, I mean, if something good is playing at the movies, we'll go see it.
Yeah, you need to watch it.
Spend the
We
money.
need to we need to support it because if not, they're gonna stop, and then we're just gonna get streaming stuff. And look, there is a place for streaming, um, but man, oof, there's mediocrity is what comes to mind. Like if a movie's coming out only on Netflix or only on Prime,
Yeah.
I am fully prepared to just be meh.
Yeah. This was pushing out
Yeah.
things and not worried about just kind of quality,
Okay, so we
quantity over quality lately.
sorry. We broke our movies down into basically three categories. Movies that we thought were really good, movies that were just to okay, and then just movies that were a disappointment or bad.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of how you did it. That's how I did it.
Yeah, I mean it my memory's not what it used to be, so I had a hard time really remembering everything that we watched
Well,
this
that's why
year,
you look
the
it up.
2024 stuff. But I went down the list and saw what was released this year and what we watched, and I think I have a respectable list.
Okay. Well,
I can participate.
I only have two movies that
Mm.
when I left the theater, I was like, that was good.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And it's Civil War and Dune Part Two.
Okay.
Um, Civil War more than Dune Part Two, actually.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the nature of the movie, the subject matter.
Yeah.
Um, Dune Part Two was excellent, masterfully um, done by Denis Villeneuve. Um, but I mean, we were wowed by Dune Part One.
Yeah.
So Dune Part Two, it was expected to be as good as it was.
Yeah. Dune, the first one blew me
Oh
away. I
yeah, it was
wasn't
great.
expecting to enjoy it that
It was
much.
great. So part two was, I mean, the guy Austin, whatever that played Elvis, he was awesome.
Yeah.
Um, and Timothy Chalamet, I was a little worried that he wouldn't be able to pull off, the leader.
The tough guy
But
there,
man,
yeah.
he did it. He surprised me. So I remember leaving the movie thinking, "Wow, that was great." Other than there was a busted speaker,
Yeah.
and it drove me insane. Um, But yes, and then Civil War, of course, I've already reviewed it. We've already talked about it. It was neat to see something kind of different. I mean,
Yeah.
we haven't really seen anything like that, and in the state of everything going on, it just kind of hit a little different, and I just thought it was great. So,
Yeah, Civil War made my list as probably my favorite movie of the year.
hmm
Just because it was so unexpected, nothing, I- oh, completely different expectations from like the trailers and before it came out to you had seen it before I did, and you basically told me like it's not what you think.
correct.
And I'm kind of glad I went into it. I don't think I would have gotten it as much as I would have if I would have gone in expecting a war movie, which is almost kind of how it was
Yeah,
marketed.
yeah, it was.
Um,
I guess they figured more people would go watch it.
Yeah, I did love it. I love the subject matter. I love that. I liked what they did and what they didn't do.
hmm
They didn't make it political and they didn't make it wasn't about picking sides and all that. It was just
About how terrible a civil war would be.
right,
That's pretty much all it's really about is
right.
how bad this could be if it were to happen.
Yeah. So I did see that in the movies, and then I watched it again recently. I got it. I got the
hmm
4K release, and I watched it again.
And it's just as good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I liked it. I think I liked it more the second time. I don't. I think maybe your opinion hadn't changed
Yeah, my opinion is about the same.
between the two
Yeah.
viewings, but I think I might have gotten more out of it
hmm
the second time. I know I really enjoyed Civil War. That was probably my number one that came out in
Okay.
2024. Dune. I need to watch it again. I loved it. We went to movies and saw it. I loved it. It was almost 3 hours long, and halfway through, I had to go to the bathroom, and I didn't leave. Um,
But you were
but I
distracted,
was distracted the
trying not
entire
to
time.
urinate on yourself.
I kept looking at my watch to see, okay, how much is left because I'm about to have a situation.
Well, we're not spring chickens anymore, so
Yeah, and I loved it. I enjoyed it, but I need to watch it again
that
in the
happened to me.
privacy of my own home.
That happened to me with Top Gun Maverick.
Mm,
Um, but I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I left that movie thinking, "Holy
that
smoke!"
was in the
Um,
last 5 years or so.
oh
That's
yeah,
probably
probably the
been the
best
best
movie
experience. Yeah,
experience, no doubt,
yeah,
no doubt. Probably since episode seven, to be honest with you. Episode seven, I think, was the last time I just was just blown away by it.
yeah. Something
By
in
a
the
movie
movies.
where I just
You know, I was thinking about that the other day. I came across something. Do you remember when the trailer for that came
oh
out?
dude, watch the
And we
trailer a
would
hundred
just
times.
watch the trailer
hmm
back to back to back to back with tears in our
Yep.
eyes because it's back. It's Star Wars is back.
Yeah, it
And then
I probably watched that trailer just as much as I watched the Dark Knight trailer. The
yeah,
Dark Knight trailer is actually one of the most watched ever. And that one's got to be up there with it.
Yeah, that was an amazing time.
So, but that's all I have for movies that just like were awesome to me.
Um, I have another one to
Oh,
add to that list. Something we watched here that you didn't see at the movies, but Furiosa.
oh,
Um,
was that 2024? I thought that was 23.
I don't know. I have to look
Uh-oh.
it up now. I
Oh,
might have something on the list that don't belong.
ruh-roh. See, this
Yeah,
is what you come here for. You come here for professionals.
it's 2024.
It was 2024?
Yeah,
Okay.
it came out in
Well,
2024.
I, for some reason, thought that was 2023 and didn't count it. Um, but that is in a good, not great category for me.
Mm. See, I loved it. We saw it. I saw it at the movies with Jacob.
And I'd watch it again. Like I liked
Yeah.
it enough to watch it again.
Well, you saw it the first time with me here,
Hmm.
and I liked it. The first time I saw it, I left the theater like you, like, yeah, good, not great. When I watched it the second time here, I loved it. I thought it was,
Well, maybe I need to watch it again.
yeah, yeah. I thought it was, Hemsworth, Chris
Yeah,
Hemsworth,
he was really good.
kind of made the movie. I'll watch anything with Anya Taylor-Joy. I watched The Menu several times this year, which is not a
Mia,
2024 movie, but I love that
my
movie.
daughter actually watched that one. She watched it at a sleepover because I was like, "When did you watch The Menu?" But you know how teenagers are, and they watch, and she likes it,
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Nicholas Holt, who was in Fury Road,
right?
he's
Yeah.
in that. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, I loved Furiosa. That's maybe my number two. But as far as things from my list that just kind of blew me away this year,
Yeah, I know.
that's
It's
that's
it's a
kind of
very
it.
short list.
It's a short list.
Yeah.
And again, there are some things that weren't bad, but it's like, really, we waited for that?
So now my good, not great list is
Hmm.
pretty, it's a lot bigger. So
Hmm.
I guess we can add Furiosa to it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I know there was a lot more CGI than Fury Road, but
Yeah.
it kind of fit,
That was my big
it
setback out
didn't
coming out of the movie theater. But upon a
it kind of
second
fits.
watch,
I mean, it's a silly movie. I mean, none of them are to be taken seriously. They're all really far-fetched but it's just a fun time. So yeah. But I mean, how you want to do this? Just kind of name one each and just kind of go.
yeah, that's fine. Our
Okay.
list is probably close to the same.
Deadpool and Wolverine. Good, not
Deadpool and
great.
Wolverine, yeah, we saw that.
Funny, but kind of more the same.
I still enjoy the first one the most.
Yeah,
Um,
the first two are much better than this one.
yeah, it was, and I'm not into the Marvel movies and all that stuff. So there's maybe a lot of stuff that, and I don't think you are either. There's maybe a lot of stuff that
Okay.
we just didn't get. Maybe it would have been a little bit better, and we would have appreciated things more a little bit if we'd be into that
Yeah, like I've never
universe.
seen Blade, and everybody like freaked out when Blade came in.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I saw Blade when I was a kid, but
I have the VHS. I bought it just so I can try it out.
yeah, yeah, I agree. It was all right. It was all right.
Um,
I didn't freak out about it like
Twisters, good but not great.
uh,
Stupid.
yeah.
But the first one's stupid. I mean, I know a lot of people love the first one, but let's be honest, the first movie's stupid.
Hmm.
I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's still fun,
Yeah,
right?
I like the Twisters. I like the first one more. I don't.
Agree. The first one is better.
Yeah,
Um,
it was all right.
but for
Sound and
what it
everything.
is, the sound
Yeah.
and now I'll be honest, I was a little disappointed in how it looked. Um, I find that the 4K restoration of the original looks much better than the second one does. I don't know why. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Um, I find the HDR, like the colors and stuff, they're better than the Blu-ray, but they're not great. So I was a little disappointed in that 4K disc.
I'll be honest with you. When I watched it at home. 35 minutes into the movie, I was scrolling on my
You
phone
was scrolling
and
your
not
phone.
not super paying
Yeah.
attention. It was the first movie. It was
Yeah,
it was the
it was
same
a
as
it's what they call a soft reboot.
yeah.
I mean, it's not really the only way you can say it's a sequel is because you see Dorothy at the beginning. Other than that,
Yeah,
there's no references to the first movie at all. So
right.
it's a soft reboot, which is what episode 7 was. I mean, it's a sequel, but it's really just a remake,
Yeah.
you know.
Something fun to throw on every once in a while, but do I need to really watch it again? Nah, no.
Another Glenn Powell movie, Hitman. Of course, I think Hitman was much better. Hitman is
Yeah,
it's a really good movie, but
I didn't see that
I'll
one.
never watch it again
Yeah,
because once you kind of see it, I mean, there's no point in watching it again. But your boy Glenn Powell put on an acting show
yeah.
in that movie. He's not just the pretty boy in this.
You've been telling me that he won you
Yeah.
over with that
Yeah,
movie. I still
he
need to
won
watch it.
his acting chops won me over in this one.
Yeah,
I thought he was just gonna because when I saw Twisters, the trailer for that, I was like, okay, so he's playing Hangman from Maverick just with tornadoes.
right.
Okay. Which is kind of true and kind of not. Um, but this movie, no, he pulls it off. I think if you watch this, you'll have a different opinion of his abilities, that he's not just a pretty boy. Kind of like I felt with Brad Pitt before I saw Troy. You know,
Yeah,
I always thought, oh, Brad Pitt, really? Then you see him as Achilles, and it's like, okay, I like this dude.
yeah. Yeah. I've always liked Brad Pitt, but I get it.
Uh, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, that made my list as a yeah. But
That
that's
was
one.
probably my biggest disappointment. I thought that was
mm,
going to be awesome.
I would have thought there was one other one that would have been on your list of biggest. That would have been your most disappointing. But we'll get to that one, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, that's
Um,
next. But I was looking more forward to this.
yeah, Planet of the Apes. I want to watch it again. I don't have it. I haven't gotten
I
it.
got the 4K Steelbook. I just haven't watched it yet.
I think it's one that we went into. This is definitely something we went because we saw it together, right?
Hmm.
We definitely went to into it with a certain expectation that this was not met. I think the second watch we would enjoy it more. I really do.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying the movie was bad, but
Right.
I mean, look, I had just finished rewatching the trilogy. Me and Dominic
Hmm.
did the three
As had I.
movies, and
Yeah.
I mean, we were stoked.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping. Now, I knew there was no way it was going to be like the first three, but I thought it would be pretty close, and I don't think it even got close to the first three. Um,
No.
Proximus Caesar was amazing, but he hardly had any screen time.
Which sidebar gives it gives me to my other highlight of the year was going to Texas Frightmare. We got to meet
We got to meet him. Yep,
Proxima Caesar. That was fun.
it was a lot of fun. And man, there Houston Horror Fest is coming up soon, and they have some good guests.
Okay.
So we need to talk about
Maybe I
that.
have to look into that. Yeah.
Since we did Frightmare last year, maybe we can do Houston Horror Fest this year.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, Moving on, Romulus, Alien Romulus.
Watched it for us again a couple of nights ago, and I liked it much. I liked it. I liked it both times. I like the movie. I really do.
Hmm.
Um,
It looks like an
I
alien movie.
it looks like an
It
alien
feels like
movie.
an alien movie.
The problem with Romulus is it's is 75% of it had been done before.
Hmm.
But I watched it again a couple of nights ago, watched it at home and just kind of sat back and just watched it as a sci-fi alien. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
there's no doubt it's a good movie,
right.
but they didn't do anything that hadn't been done before, aside from
That's the biggest
a
issue.
lot more face hugger action,
Yeah.
which I really enjoyed, by the way, because those things are
Hmm.
always every alien movie where there's a face hugger scene, it's always the most intense.
Yeah.
Um, so
That
I
and
enjoyed that part.
the zero gravity stuff that they
Yeah, that
did,
was
and
neat.
I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty cool.
With
But
the acid blood floating around and
I
stuff.
mean everything from some of the lines from the original to they made the human hybrid to some of the shots when she's coming off the elevator
Look
with the
exactly like
thing
aliens.
and like they knew what they were doing trying to draw those old fans in. But if you just kind of look at it as a not as a movie by itself,
Yeah, not so much an
I
alien
yeah,
franchise movie. Yeah,
I really, really enjoyed it. Like it was, I watched it again. I watched it a couple nights
I
ago.
need
It
to
was the
watch it
second
again.
time I had seen it, and I watched it. Like I wasn't distracted. I was
How was
watching.
the sound and stuff? It was good.
Yeah, yeah, it was good. The gunfire and stuff when they found the rifles and everything, and the creaky the ship and all that stuff. It
Yeah, I can't
was
wait to listen to it in here.
yeah.
Now I don't think you like this movie, but you don't like the first one either. Beetlejuice. Now I didn't expect a whole lot.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice again.
Uh-huh.
Um, and he delivers, of course. There's a few scenes in here that I thought were really, really neat, like showing his little what 5 minute backstory and stuff like that was kind of neat. Um, but it was disappointing because there was a whole lot of buildup and no payoff really. There was just a whole bunch of different storylines, and it all just kind of ends.
Yeah.
But if you watch the first movie, that's what happens. There's a whole lot of build up, and then the movie just kind of ends.
You
So
know,
it's kind of in keeping with what it is.
loyal fans of the channel know that I'm not a huge Beetlejuice guy. I don't dislike it, but it's
It's
not my
just
it's
yeah,
not
it's just not
something
your
that I
thing.
have to watch.
And look, I didn't grow up on it. I watched Beetlejuice for the first time as an adult.
Yeah.
I just love it for some reason.
Well, I've seen it a few times now, and actually, before I watched Beetlejuice, I watched the original one again this earlier this year. I watched it again, and I enjoyed it. It was
Mhm.
fine, just a different perspective. It had been years since I had seen it. Beetlejuice just didn't do anything for me. Again, I was playing on my phone and doing other things halfway through the movie.
You need to
Um,
put your phone away when you're watching movies. No,
uh,
I know. All
movies
kidding
know it
aside,
needs to hold my interest.
if I start which it happens to me all the time, if I start looking at at my phone during a movie, it ain't good.
Right.
Or I say it ain't good. It's not very
Or
good.
you've seen it 500 times.
Correct. The next one, Abigail.
We
You
see
probably haven't
Abigail.
seen that. I enjoyed it.
I think that's on Max.
Kevin Durant is in it. Proximus Caesar, he's
Yeah.
in it. Um, it's a good little movie. Good little um vampire flick. It's directed by the same guy, or I think it might be more than one guys that directed Ready or Not, which I don't remember if you've seen it or not.
I've seen it. I saw it, and then Jacob and I watched it a few nights ago,
Okay.
and he really liked it.
Well,
I liked Ready or Not.
if you like Ready or Not, you're gonna like Abigail.
Okay. See, I thought it was more like a horror movie, like a real
It
intense
is.
horror movie.
Well,
Okay.
it's a horror movie, but it's a horror comedy, kind of like Ready or Not is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All
you'll
right.
like
Well, I'm
it.
gonna add it to the list then because I've seen it on Max. It's the ballerina. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I've seen it on Max. And I remember you talking about it, but I
Fun
hadn't
little
seen
movie.
it.
I enjoyed it, but I can't put it in great because how often will I watch it? I may never watch it again,
Yeah.
but it was okay.
Yeah.
Now this one, man, this one probably should be more in the not very good,
Huh.
but I have it in the good, maybe because um it's well done. It just was a big disappointment. That was Maxine.
Yeah. Maxine was weird, man. Maxine was all
We
over the
watched
place.
it here.
So I actually have that on my list as the trilogy. I had seen X, and then I had seen Pearl, and then I watched them again, and then we watched Maxine here,
Right.
and then I watched them again in order. Like I watched X again, I watched Pearl again, I watched Maxine. They're better as a whole. I love Pearl. Pearl is one of my favorites. But I got a lot more out of them when I watched them back
Yeah,
to
you
back to
see, it
back.
had
The
been,
Maxine was weird, but they're three totally different movies. Um,
and it's kind of weird that she plays two different people at two different times. So
yeah,
it gets a little confusing.
yeah. It's I try to explain the trilogy and the timeline and who she plays, and one is a prequel of this character, the other is a sequel of this character, and it's such a neat concept though, and the movies I like them stand alone, but they're better when you watch them
Well,
all
I think
together.
Maxine was okay until the big reveal. Like, how many times we're gonna do the religious cult thing?
Yeah,
It
the end was weird.
it was
The end was disappointing.
it was lazy, is what I felt.
Yeah,
It was kind of a lazy thing. Um, another jab at Christianity and stuff. I think that was the big downfall for me.
yeah,
But most of the movie, I mean, it's just the what's his name, Ty West. I mean, he's really talented.
hmm
He's a good writer and director. I just felt he got a little lazy. I don't know if he ran out of ideas
yeah,
or if that's really what he wanted to do. It's just kind of, I don't know. I
yeah.
just felt it was cheap.
Yeah, it was definitely the weakest by far of the three movies.
Could have got a little more
Um,
inventive than he did.
yeah.
Um,
Um,
so
so yeah, anyway.
my wife and I watched a new Christmas movie. What I guess they're trying to tap into the Die Hard stuff. Carry On. With Egerton or whatever his name
Yeah,
is,
yeah, and Bateman.
and Jason Bateman.
Was it
The
good? Because
the
I want to see it.
the best part of the movie was Jason Bateman.
Yeah,
It's fun watching, when you see guys do something they don't normally do and play a
yeah,
bad guy when,
yeah,
he's a funny person. He was very, very good as a bad guy. The movie overall is meh.
yeah,
I mean, it's not bad, but it ain't good.
Yeah.
It's just kind of okay. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I'll watch it next year for Christmas again because it's a Netflix movie
Yeah.
and
It'll be
when
there.
it might be in the rotation just to kind of half-ass watch, but I wasn't expecting a whole lot and you don't get a whole lot.
Yeah.
It's a neat
I
concept.
wanna check it out. We had seen the little preview for it, and then we kind of got interested in it.
Earlier in the year, I watched Kaylee Cuoco's movie on Prime called Role Play.
Hmm.
Um, it's been done before. She's a she's an assassin and she plays different roles and it's her and her husband are gonna do a role playing thing to like have fun
Hmm.
and then somebody ends up trying to kill her and it's been done before, but it's it's not great.
Yeah, I
But
saw it
the
after you
only
had talked to me about it.
the
And
only reason it's in the good category is because it's my hall pass.
hmm.
Kaylee's in it.
Hmm.
Um, and she does okay, and in a little action role. It's kind of neat to see her in something other than
Something different.
Kenny.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I watched that one. I
but it's just,
feel like I forgot about it
yeah, it
immediately.
was exactly. I'll never watch it again.
Yeah.
But it was one of those. Oh, what can I watch today? Oh, Kaylee has a new movie. Let me put it on, and it
Yeah.
entertained me for an hour and a half or whatever it was. But
Yeah.
that's probably all it'll ever be.
Yeah, it wasn't a waste of time, but it was
But it wasn't
very
like that.
forgettable.
Now, this last one, I really enjoyed it. And I might watch it again, but it might not be because the movie was that good. Subservience. And it's
Yeah, I
because
remember hearing
Megan
that.
Fox was smoking hot,
Wow.
where she plays this AI robot who's hired. The husband hires her to help him take care of the family. And she kind of goes haywire. It's very much like Megan,
Yeah.
but it's an adult AI robot and she falls in love with him type of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a mixture between Megan and Ex Machina,
Hmm.
and but not as good as really either one.
Yeah.
Megan was actually a little bit better,
Yeah.
but I did enjoy it, and it Megan Fox was like born to play that role. It is kind of creepy how well she played an AI robot made person.
She is a little strange, a little creepy.
She's a little strange. She's a little creepy.
Off the deep end a little
She's
bit.
38 years old, but she looks like she's 25. Um, so it was an interesting movie, especially if you like Ex Machina and Megan, then you will enjoy it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I just watched it the other day.
I feel like I saw that on
It's on Netflix.
it's on Net. Okay,
Yeah.
that's yeah. I saw
I
a
think
preview
it may
for it.
have had a theater release, but it's on Netflix right now. It came out this year.
You know, saw it and I saw that she was in it and I dismissed it immediately.
Well,
She's
her performance is
yeah,
like amazing. She was really, if anything, it's worth watching just to watch her. That's how good she was in it.
yeah.
And not to
Everything she
mention,
does is a
I'm
performance.
gonna go ahead and say she's smoking hot. I'm gonna go ahead and say that again.
Hmm.
Um,
What's left of her? She used to be. I feel like she
and
used
she
to be
looks just
this.
like she
This
always did. I don't know what I've seen pictures where it looked like she may have messed herself up, but in this movie, she looks like Megan Fox.
yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
so that one was
Maybe I'll give it
okay.
a shot.
And I may watch that one again. Anyway, um,
With your
and last but not least,
for
as far as
kids.
my
Go for the
good but
kids.
not great movies was Axel F. And that's mainly because I just love Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, I did
Um,
watch that one and
it's not well done actually. Um,
oh,
the
I was
the
very
gunfire with the squibs and all of that. I mean, they look terrible. They may have just been CGI. Like it may not even been real. So there's a lot of the movie that's not very good, but it's fun to watch Eddie Murphy be Axel Foley again.
yeah. Um,
So if you grew up on Beverly Hills Cop, then you probably liked it. If you didn't grow up on Beverly Hills Cop,
I
then you're probably
remember.
like, eh.
I mean, I enjoyed Beverly Hills Cop, but I feel like this was just they were grasping too much. They were
Hey,
like,
it was on Netflix. I didn't pay money to go watch
yeah,
it.
yeah,
So,
definitely. I
if
don't
I'd have
know.
gone
I
to the
wasn't
theater
crazy
and
about
watched
it.
this, I may have been a little upset that I paid money for it. Um,
It didn't Taggart didn't he pass
he
away right
passed
after
away,
this
man.
came out?
Apparently, he had been battling cancer, which is
Yeah,
why he looked so bad in the movie because he wasn't that old. He was like
yeah.
late 60s, early 70s. Um, And I mean, my dad is not a healthy man and looked better than he did in that movie. So
Yeah.
it's obvious that he was sick, but he smoked like crazy. Apparently, I think it was lung cancer.
Yeah.
So yes, Axel F. That is the end of my movies for the year. The rest I have are pretty bad.
Yeah. Um, yeah, we probably have the same bad
Close to the
list too.
same.
I
Well,
mean, I'm
you finished with your mediocre
I'm
movies?
finished with my mediocre movies. My list wasn't as extensive as yours. Like I said, I don't remember half the stuff I watched. But you mentioned role play. I know I watched that. I didn't remember that I watched it.
Mm,
Um,
well, I didn't remember I watched it either. I had to
yeah,
look on the list of
yeah,
what came. I was like, oh, I saw that. I saw this. I saw that.
yeah. My the biggest disappointment, and it's gonna be worse for you. I see it on your list, the Ghostbusters movie.
Oh, the Ghostbusters movie was flat out bad.
Right. If I'm not mistaken, you don't even own it yet. Like you
Well,
bought
and I
that.
refuse to buy it. I'm
Yeah.
not buying it.
Yeah. That was very, very, very disappointing.
I don't know what they were. Well, I do know what they were doing. They
Yeah.
were going in one direction, and obviously it didn't test well, or the producers were like, hell no, y'all are not doing that.
A
And they had to
a
chop a bunch of
do-over.
stuff up.
Yeah.
But I mean, not even do-overs. Like they had to, it was just edited really poorly. And it's because they decided they didn't want to go in the direction
I
that they
feel
were
like there was an
going,
agenda
of course.
that they
And
had to
it was
change at
shot
the end.
down. And so they made a big mess of it. So it's a
Yeah.
bad movie where they don't even bust ghosts.
Right.
It's a Ghostbusters movie where they don't bust
I
ghosts.
feel like that was one of the ones like because we saw that one together. And that was one of the, like as it set, as time went on, we disliked it
Right.
more and more and
And
more.
look, in the theater, I remember when it finished, we just kind of looked at each other like, wow. I didn't know. I
That
was
was
like,
a movie.
was that as bad as I thought it was? Type of thing.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about it much because
Yeah.
I think we were both really disgusted at what we saw.
It harkens back to Star Wars Episode 8 when when we were watching Star Wars and we were watching it with a friend and he leans over and says, "Man, this sucks." Like,
That's
yeah,
not the words he used. I think he
yeah,
said it may
yeah.
have been an F-bomb
It
moment.
was more colorful than that.
Yeah.
But and I think that's the point. Like we were all thinking it, but no one really wanted to say it or acknowledge it. And then that was said, and we were like, "Yeah, this sucks."
And that's pretty much what happened look,
Yeah.
even my wife, who I'm not saying her taste in movies is not bad, but she does like more bad movies than I do. And she tends to like a lot of girly movies and stuff. Well,
Hallmark Channel.
this, she's pretty forgiving in a lot of things. And she watched this while we were on vacation because it dropped on Netflix while we were at the beach.
Right.
And she watched it and she was like, that Ghostbusters movie sucks. So for my wife to say that, it's got to be pretty bad.
Yeah, it was. I really don't even remember it. I remember
I just remember
there being a
they
really
do
bad
nothing,
CGI thing at the end that was there was no
right?
payoff
They
whatsoever.
stand there with their proton packs, they shoot it, it does nothing, and then they trap it with a giant trap or
Yeah,
something like.
I don't even
And it was
remember.
a cool looking thing, and you think that there's gonna be this great battle, but nothing happens.
Yeah,
It's just a terrible movie,
I may
and
not ever watch it again.
oh,
I
I'm
don't
not
think
gonna
I
watch
will.
it again. I've seen bits and pieces of it, and I was like, this is just bad.
Yeah.
So let's move on because it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Trap. Trap was a neat concept. Your boy, what's his name?
Um, yeah, that guy. I know who you're talking about.
Oh my God,
Hartnett, Josh
Josh
Hartnett.
Hartnett.
Yeah.
He was the best part of the movie because he played a crazy person really well.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of refreshing to see. But the ending just ruined it. I mean, just kind of like a lot of M. Night's movies,
Yeah.
its endings are either really good or you're like, that's it, that's what it was.
And you see, I haven't seen that one yet because I was waiting for someone to tell me, man, you've got to see this. And everything was like, yeah, it's all right.
It just
Yeah,
okay.
I haven't seen it. I don't know if I will
Now
actually.
this then A Quiet Place Day One
Oh,
to
man.
me was
Such a good start, such promise, such
look,
potential.
you take the cat out of it
Yes.
and the movie I move it up a category. I
Yeah.
move it into the good but not great.
Yeah.
The cat
because
Did not make sense.
the first two are great. I
Yes,
love the first two
yes.
Quiet Place movies.
The cat doesn't make sense, people. I know people love I have two cats. I love animals. I love cats.
Yeah.
We know cats don't behave that way. That cat never meowed. It never hissed.
And
I
they took
it didn't
way
purr.
too many chances with their own lives to save this damn cat.
I mean, I just
And the cat didn't do anything. Like
it didn't rescue
fetch
anybody.
supplies. It it didn't find hidden escape routes to get away from the Tatais.
It put them in danger.
It didn't do anything.
You have to explain what a tatai is because most of our audience not
Oh yeah, Tatai. It's like a monster.
right.
It's Cajun
It could be
slang.
anything from like
It's
big bugs
it's the
or the
boogeyman.
boogeyman.
It's yeah.
It's like a tatai.
If I had to equate it to something in normal people speak, it would be the boogeyman.
Right.
It's a Tatai.
So
Anything that scares you.
yeah, but so on to my biggest disappointment of the year. I was actually looking really forward to this. People praise this movie.
Hmm.
It is well shot, well directed. It looks great. The colors, it's bright. Um, even the writing up until the very end, I was on board. The Substance with Demi Moore and Megan Qualley is her name. Andy
Yeah. Andy
what's her name?
McDowell.
Andy McDowell's daughter. The movie, 75% of the movie is really, really good. The last 25% is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I was so disappointed in this. And then I read reviews, people saying, oh, if you don't like the last 20 minutes, then you didn't understand what the movie was about. No, I understood what the movie was about. Okay. It was about beauty standards in Hollywood and in everyday life, and it's unfair to women and blah, blah, blah. I get all of that. The ending sucked. Okay, it's stupid. It went way too far. It probably should have been trimmed. The ending could have been trimmed down to like 5 or 10 minutes. Instead, it goes on for 20 or 25 minutes. I was several times. I was like, "Oh, thank God, the movie's oh no, it's
No,
not
it's not.
over." There's
Psych.
wait, there's more. It is awful
Yeah.
to take such a good premise and great performances by Demi and Megan Qual. Like they were both phenomenal.
I haven't seen anything with Demi Moore in it in a really long time.
So like let me put it to you this way. Halfway through the movie, I was like, I'm gonna buy this.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I want to own this disc because I bet you it's gonna look great in 4K. It's just this is a great movie. And in the end, I'm like, this is awful.
Yeah.
I will never watch this movie again. It's stupid. It sucks. I don't know why. I think people are so they're kind of like me. They may only have one or two movies that they can say was great this year, and they were holding on to it. And that's the only explanation I have because it's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's not something that I even have an interest in watching.
No.
I'm not gonna see it. I hadn't planned on seeing it, and now I'm not going to. I'm not going to see it.
Well, are there any movies that came out this year that you want to watch that you didn't get a chance to watch? Because I'm hearing this, what is it, Nosferatu that just came out?
Yeah, I haven't. I know it's. Is it a remake of the original
Yeah,
from
of
like the
course.
20s or
Yeah, yeah.
30s or whatever?
And it's the guy, what's his name? Robert Eggers, or he did um what's the movie with Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson?
Lighthouse.
Lighthouse. He did Lighthouse and he did The Witch. So he
I
does
did.
these,
I saw The Witch. That's the one with Anya Taylor-Joy.
I don't know, I guess.
I've
If
seen that.
she's in The Witch, then he did that.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen
He
that.
does these kind of like weird
Yeah,
artistic type movies, and I love The Lighthouse. I'll probably never watch it again, but I thought that was tremendous.
yeah,
A lot of people love The Witch. So he has a very specific style, and from what I understand, you're either gonna love the movie or you're gonna hate it. Like there's not much in between. You're either gonna think it's great or you're gonna think it's boring and stupid.
yeah,
So that's all I know. I'm interested because of that.
yeah. And then
Um,
the subject matter, the whole vampire thing, and it's re revitalizing a
mhm.
classic, which I've never seen the original one either, but I
Me,
know
nope,
it's
never seen it.
I've seen bits and pieces of it, and just I mean it's so old, and it's the old black and white, and it just looks really, really creepy. Probably very unsettling. I think it's on Prime right now.
Is it really?
I think so, yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I had seen that. It wasn't really on my radar. It's
Well, it
something
just
that,
came out, so
yeah,
that's why, I hadn't really, of course, had a chance to go watch
I
it.
mean,
But
Willem
so
Dafoe, you know.
I'm interested in this movie Blink Twice, with Channing Tatum.
Okay,
It's directed by what's it Lenny Kravitz's daughter. She was Catwoman or
got
whatever.
you. Zoe Kravitz, I think,
Yeah,
is in
so
it.
I'm interested in that. And then Saturday Night, I haven't had a chance to watch. It's the movie about Saturday SNL,
Yeah,
the
the
first
first episode.
episode.
Yeah,
I hear it's great.
I feel like I heard that somebody that was it either Lorne Michaels kind of came out and said, I may be not, I may be incorrect about this 100%, but I feel like someone came out and said that's not how it was at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't. Maybe I read that somewhere. Maybe I'm making it up, but yeah, that wasn't
I want
really
to
on
see
my
it
radar.
because I'm very interested and I'm hoping that it's accurate. But now I'm gonna have to research it. If they say it's not very accurate, then I may not watch it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know why that jumped in my head. I
It's
feel like
Jason
I read
Reitman
that.
that did it. He wrote and directed it. So
And that was the criticism. Like he was upset with Jason Reitman for making the movie and getting it wrong. I feel like I read that. But
really,
yeah, find out for yourself. I don't know.
to
I
me, he
might
would have
be,
had to collaborate with all of these people to find out exactly what was going on.
yeah, maybe so. I
Because I
don't
know
know.
Dan Aykroyd, of course, he's good friends with Jason because of his dad.
Yeah.
And Dan Aykroyd was there, and
Yeah,
he was. I mean, I saw like a little behind the scenes thing where they were
maybe
talking
so.
about it.
Maybe so. I might, like I said, I might have misread something or not remembering it right or whatever. But
I hear the guy that plays Chevy Chase nailed it. That's another reason why I really want to watch it.
do you remember what it was?
No idea. They just say he nails Chevy Chase.
Yeah. No, as far as things that I don't keep up with as quite as much as you do, things that I wish I would have seen that I haven't yet. I can't think of anything that comes to mind. I've been just rewatching a lot of stuff lately.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, rewatching stuff with my son. We watched Misery not too long
It's a
ago.
good movie.
He enjoyed
Had you never
Misery.
seen it?
I had seen it. I
Oh,
had seen it, yeah. Um, and he turned me on to a couple things that I didn't think I was gonna like. Like we watched he had been wanting me to watch Pixels. That's a Adam Sandler
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Netflix movie. That was all right. He had been wanting me to watch Free Guy. I had no interest in Free Guy.
I saw
I
Free
watched
Guy. It
it.
was okay.
It was all right. But he turned me on to the Suicide Squad. Not the first one with Jared Leto,
Yeah, the last
but
one.
the last one with
That's the only one I've
Idris
seen.
Elba.
Hmm.
Kind of liked it.
Yeah, it was okay.
It was all right for a comic book movie. I don't get into those too much, but I really enjoyed that. Um, and I mean, this was in 2024, but it's just something recently that I've seen that I enjoyed, and that turned me on to Birds of Prey, which I liked the first half, and I didn't like the second half too much. But I love that character, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. I really enjoy watching her in that
Hmm.
role, and then that led me
Sure you do.
to Suicide. What?
What?
And
Huh?
that led me to Suicide Squad, the first one. I didn't enjoy that at all.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about watching that.
I know a lot of people trash Jared Leto's Joker. Did he suck?
Sucks.
Really?
Yeah, he kind of tried to maybe put them all into one, all the
Nah.
previous iterations of the Joker into one,
Oh
and it
yeah.
just didn't really
Speaking
work
of
to me.
Joker, are you gonna watch Folie à Deux?
I have no interest in it.
And see, I do. It's more, I think, out of curiosity. I have to see it just to see how bad or not as bad as they say it is. Like,
Yeah,
I need to form my own opinion because I'm not expecting it to be good. Okay. I
this
want
is
to,
one that
it's like curiosity. I gotta see what they did and why they did it.
I love Joker. It's one of my favorite movies. Every time I watch it, I
I
like
think
it
it's a
more.
masterpiece.
Yes.
And it's not just the movie, like the music. It's some I forget the lady's name that did it. He did the score and she did the score for the second one.
hmm
I don't know. I thought that the score of the first movie just elevated it so much. I
Yeah.
thought it was just so good. Um,
Well, this is one of the
yeah,
ones where leading up to the release, I
I
was
was very interested.
very excited. And then people started watching it and started trashing it, and
There's
not
people
just that
in
they
the
were,
movie. Like,
yeah,
you saw that guy on
yeah,
Joe
yeah,
Rogan who's like, dude, this movie is terrible, and we
yeah.
knew it as we were filming it was going to be bad.
And yeah, and it's not just that people were trashing it, it was who was trashing it and why. And after that, I got like I'm kind of interested, but not enough to sit down and watch it.
Yeah, I
And
think I'm
then
going to give it a whirl one day.
for a musical, for me to sit down and want to watch a musical, like there's two musicals that I like. And other than that, I'm just really not interested in
Speaking of
musicals.
musicals, no, we did not watch Wicked. My
No,
wife has seen it
no.
3 times at the theater with my daughter, and she wants to go watch it a fourth time because she's insane. And because they're doing the sing along version,
Oh, maybe that's the one that I'll go see.
so go at 9 o'clock and you can watch the sing along version.
How about no?
We've already pre-ordered the disc. Okay. So
So you will be watching it
we have
at
spent
some
like
point.
$200 on this freaking movie.
Yeah.
So when we get it, it better knock my socks off.
The people that have seen it love it. I once again and look, The Wizard of Oz. I
Wizard of
love The
Oz is
Wizard of Oz.
great.
When I
Yeah.
mentioned the two musicals that I like, The Wizard of Oz is one of them. It's one of my favorites. Again, I have no interest in seeing Wicked for various reasons. Um, Maybe I'll watch it one day. I'm not going. Maybe I'll
Dude.
watch it over here when you watch it with Jamie for the 15th time,
Oh, or maybe you and I can watch together and we'll trash it.
like a Mystery Science
Or
Theater.
maybe we'll praise it. Who
It
knows? It
might be
might be
great,
good.
just like the Joker. It might be great. I'm not in a rush to watch
I
either one
just
of them.
just knowing the few things that I do know about it, it's kind of like, look, anytime you do a prequel to anything, you're gonna retcon something. And I sometimes I just like things to be left up to the imagination. I I don't want the backstory of the Wicked Witch, and I certainly don't want to sympathize with her.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I have a problem with
there is that whole school of thought that Dorothy was the bad guy,
same
which
thing.
I can get in on that.
There's also the school of thought that Daniel is the bad guy in Karate Kid. Okay, which is ridiculous, but
Yeah.
it's still fun to think about. So it's kind of like Alien Coven shit, where
Alien and Star
they
Wars, man.
completely, well, Star Wars, but Alien, they completely ruin the xenomorphs. They were
Yeah,
much scarier when they are just an alien life form parasite that is just going to do what it has to do to survive. And that is scary enough. I
yeah,
didn't need to see a mad android breeding them to make them into the perfect killing machine to kill off humans because he's mad.
right.
So, Alien Covenant ruined the Alien franchise. And that's just a small example of how I feel about certain things. And, this kind of does the same thing. I mean, they get you to sympathize with Elphaba, who is the Wicked Witch's name. And I just don't know if I like that,
Yeah.
especially since the original novel was written by a pervert. So, there's that.
I didn't know he was a pervert.
He was a pervert. Like in the original novel, there's inappropriate things children are doing with each other.
Oh,
There are inappropriate things people do with animals.
well, I mean,
Uh,
Stephen King brings me back to when
it.
it.
Yep.
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 He did
Yep.
that kind of
He
thing.
did that with it. I mean, that's what happens when you snort a lot of cocaine and drink lots of alcohol and write novels.
Hmm.
Um, so yes, there's
Which reminds me, I saw The Shining this year. For the first, I'd never seen The Shining before. I saw that this year.
boy, that's I don't like that movie.
Yeah.
I've tried. I've
I,
tried watching it. I fall asleep every time.
thought it
I fall
was,
asleep.
yeah, yeah.
I don't fall asleep in movies.
That was all right.
I watch The Shining like this every time.
Jack Nicholson is so good.
He is.
That's what
Too
sucked
bad it
me in.
takes 3 hours to get where he's going crazy.
Yeah.
Read the novel.
Yeah.
The novel is amazing. And when you're
I
going to read the novel, you're going to be, you know what? Nelson's right. This movie sucks.
Yeah, and I had no frame of reference. I had never read the novel. I didn't really even know what the damn movie was about.
Yeah.
I really didn't know. I didn't realize that the hotel was like one of the main character. Um, I I
And I
enjoyed it.
know people love The Shining. I'm sorry,
I
it's
liked it
not
more
good.
than I thought I would based on the things that I heard about
So Stephen King tried to write the ship, and he wrote his own screenplay for it. but it was made for TV in the 90s. And I
Mhm.
watched that version. And while it's definitely more faithful to the novel, it was made for TV, and the special effects were so bad that
Yeah.
it's laughable. It didn't come off very well.
Yeah.
So it's like just leave it alone. Okay. I mean, people love the movie, let them love the movie.
Yeah.
People like me who read the novel, love the novel, just leave it alone.
Well, it's
So I don't want
some of
anybody to
that
remake it.
iconic imagery and, the twins
Here's
and
Johnny,
riding the nice the trike down
which
the
the twins are
hallway.
not in the book at all, by the way.
Yeah.
I hate to ruin that for you.
I don't know, it's just neat seeing where some of that stuff, seen so many of these iconic scenes or whatever, and I'd never seen the movie, so it's neat seeing where that stuff came from. And then I watched Doctor Sleep after, and I wasn't crazy about Doctor
Now I
Sleep.
have that novel and I haven't read it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm reading a book right now. I've told you about it, and I'm almost finished. I say almost finished. I'm on page like 210, and there's like 320 pages.
Hmm.
Devolution by
Hmm.
Max Brooks. Um, if you like World War Z, then I think you should give. Did you read World War Z?
I did. It's been a little while.
Okay,
I read the book. I think I read the book before I watched the movie.
of course, because the movie's terrible.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's terrible. It's just kind of like The Shining.
I don't remember.
It's World War Z in name only.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, they took a great novel and a great premise and tried to make a big budget Hollywood thing out of it instead of just staying faithful to the source material. And it would have become a big hit because the way it's written, like as nonfiction, is just fantastic. And the
Yeah.
movie should have been told in that same style.
I don't remember the movie very much, but I do remember liking the book a whole lot more.
So yeah, instead of zombies, this one's about Sasquatches. So,
I'll have to check that out one day.
first
I'm
book
gonna have
I've
to
read in quite some time.
relearn to read first.
Okay, well, that'll do it for our 2024 wrap up. Do you have anything to add? We covered everything.
Um, no, well, I mean, I just finished season 2 of Squid Game. We watched that in 2 sittings, 7 episodes, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like
I'm gonna
where
have to give it a whirl.
they ended on a cliffhanger, and then the season 3 comes out later this year. I thought it was going to be a split thing where they do like part of this season now, and then like they did with Cobra Kai, they
Right.
split up the last season. But it's at the end of the last episode of this season. It says season 3, 2025.
Okay.
So it's good. It started off a little slow. I was like,
Yeah, I know you texted
okay,
me. You were kind of like,
yeah, but then
eh.
once it gets going, like some things happen, and it's very,
Well,
very
that's how the
intriguing.
first one, because people were talking about
Yeah.
how good Squid Game was, and I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And about halfway through the first episode, I was like,
This one starts off a little bit like that.
but then
It's
I
a
remember
little
like
bit
the
different.
end of the first episode, I was like, holy
Yeah.
crap.
So this one, it takes about an episode and a half. For me anyway, it took about an episode and a half to finally grab me. Um, because it's not. I don't want to say too much. Like I had an expectation of this is what's going to happen, and it eventually happened, but it took a little while to get there. But then once it got going, and once it was Squid Game again, it's good. And
Okay,
the things
well,
that happen and the characters, I feel like I'm more interested in the characters in this one than the first season. But I would also need to rewatch the first season again. They do a recap, and it's adequate. But I really wish I would have
yeah,
squeezed in the first
the
season again
first season
before I
was
started it.
he was looking for his brother, and it right, and it kind of turns out that
I
his
don't
brother
remember. It
was
was the officer, the police officer
right.
was, yeah.
That it ended up being well, the police officer was after, man, I don't remember. I just remember
He infiltrated
the
the
main
thing.
character's brother. Oh, that's right. It was the police officer's
It was the
brother
police
was the
officer's
one that
brother.
was behind everything.
Right,
Or he was not behind everything. He was just one of the kind of like the manager, like the big dog.
right,
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And
Okay.
they continue that. It's a continuation.
I
Um,
forgot about the police officer character.
which is so, and I think that was my hang up at first, is that it's a continuation. My whole thing was, how do you continue that story? I thought it was going to be like
A different group.
a different group. It's the continuation of the first series, and
Mm.
it takes a minute,
I
but
knew it was going
it's
to be a continuation because I knew the guy was in it, and I remember the last shot of the first season. he decided he was going back.
Yeah.
So I knew it was going to be a
And that was
continuation.
my thing. Like, how does he go back? Why would he go back?
He
Like,
wants to take the ring down.
right.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's again, we watched it in 2 nights. Um it's really good. The games are fun. They bring one game back. Um and then after that it's all new games, and it gets pretty
Man,
intense. It
I
gets pretty intense.
I just remember watching that first season. I was kind of like this
Yeah.
the whole
It
time.
it gets that
Mhm.
way again. They recaptured that with the games that
And
are
just sitting
going
there,
on.
just trying to put yourself in that situation, like,
Yeah.
holy crap, that feeling has to be horrible.
And it makes you think, like, like the way they're pitting the players again. They introduced something new in this one that pits the players against each other even more. And you gotta think to yourself, like, which side would you be on? Like, would you side with this side and think the other ones are a piece of crap? Or would you say, oh, okay, well, I understand why they're doing that, why they're doing it that way, and and be at odds with the other side? Like, which side would you be on, kind of thing. It's good. It makes you think. It makes you think.
Well, that's gonna be next on my watch list because I binged watched Lioness season two. Well,
Hmm.
actually both seasons. Season two just dropped, but I binge watched both seasons. I thought it was really good. Not very accurate in some of the military stuff. Um, and not very realistic, but none of Taylor Sheridan stuff is really realistic. He takes something and he makes his own story and kind of stretches
Yeah.
a lot and just makes it really entertaining. And but I thought it was really good. First I thought it was going to be a more of a I am woman, hear me roar kind of thing, but it's really not.
And that's the
They
impression that
use
I got
women
from it.
because the program has to use women because it's women getting close to female family members of
Okay.
these terrorists or whoever they're going after, and they're basically like a spy. They're going in there befriending the women of the men who are running all of this crap.
I know Breacher really liked it.
Yes, he
Um,
loves it.
he
Him and
was
I spoke
also he
a
had the
little bit.
epiphany of this sucks when we were watching
Yes,
episode 8.
yes. He and I talked about Linus, and I think we have the same kind of feelings. I liked the season two was about was the border and the Mexican cartel. So I liked that premise better than the first one, which is Iraq and terrorists or
Hmm.
whatever. Um, but I do think that the first season is probably overall better. But I liked them both. I couldn't stop watching. After each episode was done, I had to hit the next one.
And what's it on? What's it's
Paramount Plus.
Yes, I don't
Yeah,
have that.
I have it because we have Walmart Plus or whatever, and it comes with it.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay. Well, I think that'll about do it. We're right at an hour. I think that's enough for people to make it about 10 minutes in.
Yeah, it was fun.
But yeah, well, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends, and we will see you on the next one.
See ya.